Hello, welcome back to the Bavard Bar. Piano Man Dan, where is Piano Man Dan? So we can have some Alvo Sprack, Zarathustra. Here you are. Take it away. Piano Man Dan, thank you so much, Piano Man Dan. We sort of bring Dan in, but could you give us a Ted the drum roll so we can bring Dan in and say hi to Piano Man Dan? Can you give us a drum roll, please, Ted? Hello, thank you, Ted, and hello, Piano Man Dan. How are you doing?
I'm good, and
you enjoying?
Here.
Who's that?
Cheeky the cat.
Cheeky the cat. Cheeky the cat. Of course, Cheeky the cat is there. Wonderful. Why wouldn't Cheeky the cat be on your piano? Excellent. How are you enjoying?
Famous, Cheeky, you're famous. They love you.
How are you enjoying the lockdown, Dan?
I think it's great because as an introvert, the idea of the government saying that we should just stay indoors and do nothing. That's fantastic news. But there is, on a serious note, Tim, there's something we have to talk about, which is this. I've got my Jack Daniel's beer mat. I've got my Jack Daniel's glass, but sadly, what's in here is not Jack Daniel's. Now, folks don't know, but Tim pays me in whiskey. And he hasn't paid me any whiskey. We wanted to do the Dan Hastings Bavard Bar Dan drinking game. Well, every time we cut to me and I do a song, I take a sip of whiskey, and the folks at home take a sip of whiskey. And there's a reason for this, Tim, and I'm going to tell you this reason right now.
Okay.
Here it is. Okay. German health expert claims drinking alcohol can protect you against coronavirus. Okay. A top German virologist has claimed drinking whiskey can protect against COVID-19 infection. Dr. Jürgen Risland, the head doctor at the Institute of Virology at Saarland University Hospital in Germany, went against the advice of the World Health Organization, which says it does not protect you. But we don't trust what the World Health Organization say, because they said that couldn't be, contracted by humans and spread like that. Okay, so speaking on the top, yeah.
No, Dan, that's good info.
No, let me explain further. Okay. The presenter was passed right. Okay. Was it a good idea to drink alcohol to kill any viruses they might have swallowed? Yes, of course this is true. The expert replied, and the higher the percentage of alcohol, the better. For example, if you are a whiskey lover, then that certainly isn't a bad idea.
Okay. Okay, Dan, thank you for that top tip from Piano Man Dan. Dan, Dan is the only person apart from me who knows the subjects of the talks at the Bavard Bar. Dan, just very quickly, can you tell us what songs are we going to hear from you tonight?
We'll do some Beatles numbers. We'll do a bit of David Bowie. We've got Carly Simon, which might be linked to the talks you'll hear, and also mystery stuff that we don't.
Okay, I tell you what, Dan. Just before we cut to our first ever KP Light live online. Could you give us a bit of Beatles? with Beatles Come Together. Thank you, Dan. Dan, I just want to bring Piano Man Dan in, just if I can, very quickly. If I could bring Dan. Are you there, Dan?
Yes, I'm here, Tim.
How are you doing? You enjoyed that?
Yeah, it was fascinating, and it becomes, gives the full length version when the lockdown is over. I just want to say, Morag Rogers on the comment says, "Can you promote wine?" So the Piano Man Dan drinking game.
Yes.
Which is the only peppermint tea at the moment, Tim, because you haven't bought me any whiskey. Also works with wine, particularly British wine. There'll be a really good season of British wine, I think, with this lovely weather we're having at the moment.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you so much, Piano Man Dan. Piano Man Dan, can you give us another tune? What's it going to be?
Okay. Well, he didn't talk enough about Carly Simon, but we'll do a bit of Carly Simon.
Okay. Thank you so much. Massive round of applause for Piano Man down there playing us Carly Dan, because in a second we're going to have Simon Shaffery. Piano Man Dan, how are you?
Hello, I'm okay, Tim.
Good. Are you? I saw a message in the comments saying that people would like more details about your washing and grooming routine, Dan. But if you don't mind, I think I'll spare the listeners tonight, and we'll come back to that next time.
It's the same as Boris Johnson. It's blue. It's the blue gel that Boris Johnson. I use that.
Okay, that's all right. Never mind, Dan. What have you got? Just the last song from you tonight. What is it?
I like to end the Bavard Bars with Stairway to Heaven. Obviously, you can't do that, but let's just do a little excerpt.
Do a little Stairway to Heaven. Down there with Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Thank you so much. Can we go to Piano Man Dan now, just very quickly before we here we are, Piano Man Dan. Hello, Dan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, and I'm especially good because this week we actually have some very real whiskey which Tim has bought me, and I'm going to do a whiskey tasting live on air. Now, this whiskey is what's called single malt whiskey, which means that it's barley. It's made from barley, just barley, and it comes from a single distillery. In this case, Tamnavullen, and it says here Speyside. So there are different whiskey regions. The most common ones being Speyside, Islay, and Highland. And this is double cask, and each of these different areas have sort of different characteristics to their flavour, roughly speaking. And this says it's double cask, matured in American oak barrels with sherry cask finish. Now, what that means is what that means is it will be quite sweet. The sherry should add a sweetness to it. So I'll just give it a taste.
That's good. I'm just thinking, how is it, Dan?
It's spicy.
Okay, Dan.
It's spicy, yeah, and sweet. It's like me. I like it.
Good. I'm glad. Dan, we've got Drew Baker on in a minute, and he's going to be talking about science, art, and unfortunately aging. Can you give us a tune, Dan, before we go to Drew? Can you give us a tune?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, one band famously did a song called "I Hope I Die Before I Get Old." The Who. I don't know that one, but I'll do. you won't get.
Can we go to Piano Man Dan, please? If we're running short of time, can we go to Piano Man Dan? Hello, Dan. How are you?
Hello, Tim. And people are liking the whiskey info, and so I'm going to give them some more whiskey info. And don't try cutting me off.
Right.
I know we're running short of time, Tim. Yes. Okay. So this was, you bought me a single malt whiskey.
Yes.
My go-to whiskey is this. It's very affordable. It's at Lidl, and this is what's called a blended malt whiskey, where you get several single malt whiskies and you blend them together. And obviously, the taste of the whiskey comes largely from the type of barrel that it was in. So the one that you gave me had bourbon, American bourbon barrels, and also sherry. So that makes it quite sweet. Okay. This one has bourbon, it has sherry, and it has port. A barrel, and it's all mixed. So this one's quite fruity and sweet, and also, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Dan, fantastic. You're a legend. Thank you for the whiskey tips. We'll come. More of those, I'm sure, will be coming on the Bavard Bar through the lockdown. Dan, can you play us a tune? What are you going to play?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to play. I think it's relevant. "Computer Love" by Kraftwerk, but they did write this in the early '80s when computers were really rubbish.
Okay. Still on the whiskey. Can we go back to Piano Man Dan? Can we go back to Dan? Piano Man, there you are. Dan, how are you? How are you surviving the lockdown?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Tim.
Good. What have you been up to? Anything?
Well, I've been waiting for my avocados to ripen. Now, I bought 3 avocados. Here are they, 3 avocados. Now, this one I bought earlier than these 2.
Yes.
But they were sold to me as ready and ripe to eat. Now, we've got top Cambridge scientists on, and we've also got plenty of intelligence in the comments. Could someone explain why one of them looks this colour and one of them looks this colour? And can they also explain to me that these were sold to me as ripe and ready? And you might think, they're slightly they're exaggerating how ripe and ready they are. But they also it says ripe.
Dan?
Ripe and ready, if you want. Yeah, okay. Trust me, it says ripe and ready. Right, no, and it has a best before end date.
Dan.
And that best before end date is the 25th of April. And I was wondering if one of your top scientists could explain to me why this has gotten its best before it's even ripe.
Dan,
can they explain that?
We'll deal with that. It's a burning issue. Obviously, there's nothing else going on in the world right now apart from how ripe Piano Man Dan's avocados are.
I think this one could be ready to eat. I might try it later.
Dan, could you give us a song? What are you going to play for us now?
I spent my time. I've made an arrangement of "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" by Pink Floyd.
Excellent.
8 pages long. Right. I'm not going to play the whole thing, obviously.
Oh, good.
I'm going to play a little excerpt of it. But at the Bavard Bar, the real Bavard Bar, I will be playing the whole thing.
Okay, let's have an excerpt. Thank you, Dan. What we'll do instead, we will go to Piano Man Dan. Can we go back to Piano Man Dan quickly? Thank you, Ted, for the drum roll. Where's Dan?
Yeah,
Dan?
hi, Tim.
Excellent. Right. So, have the avocados ripened?
Well, no, they haven't. But we haven't talked about whiskey, have we, Tim?
No, we haven't.
We haven't. Now, this whiskey
Right.
has been maturing for 8 years.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that my avocados ripen before the 8 years. Has there been any comments as to why? Actually, this one is kind of ripe, but I've rubbed off one of the numbers. But the next number is 1, and it's 1 April. So it's probably the 21st of April was the best before end date of this.
Right.
And only now is it possibly eatable. I might. We know the disappointment of opening into an avocado only to find that Tim?
Dan, you're using a knife, and you're going to play the piano for us. Can you just maybe put that?
It is ripe. It is ripe.
Dan,
it's ready to eat. A week after they said it was possible, best before end date.
Dan, we've got Robin Ince on the show, and I want to go to Robin Ince. Can you play us a song? What are you going to play for us now, Dan?
Okay, I'm going to play, because I'm an 80s boy, She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult.
Take it away. Can we go to Piano Man Dan? Where's Piano Man Dan? Because I want to see, hopefully his sound is better.
Hi.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Tim. And last week I did mention briefly my book of songs of the 1920s, because I was hoping that we were going to have another roaring 20s. And one of the things that I was hoping for is that we're going to see a return to the era of elegance. That's what they call the 1920s, the era of elegance. And you can see by my suit, this suit is very much what someone like Sir Don Bradman he might have worn in the 1920s. There, a very similar suit to my one. And back in the 1920s, women, they were called ladies, and this is what one of them would have looked like that. And this was the sort of style and the fashion that they used to wear back in the 1920s. Okay. And you can see some more 1920s, and not like now, not these, not that.
Okay.
That.
Okay, Dan.
And also that.
Thank you for
that. That's really nice. Not this.
Right.
Not this. Not this.
You know.
This.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan. Could you play us a tune, Dan?
Not this. Not this.
No.
This.
Good. Okay,
yeah,
Dan.
This. Yes.
Okay. Can we have a tune, Dan?
Not that one. Not that one. That's terrible.
Dan.
Yeah.
Can we have a tune?
Not that. Not that. That's my favourite.
Okay. Dan, could we have a tune, please? What are you going to play for us, please?
Yeah, I'm going to play some Pink Floyd.
Right. Excellent. Thank you, Dan. Take it away. Hopefully your sound is better this week. We're fingers crossed. We are looking forward to this. And can we go to Piano Man Dan? If we don't have Maria. Piano Man Dan, there we are. Dan,
yeah.
How are you? How's the sound now? Do we think we've...
Yeah, I think the sound is sorted, Tim.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt the Bond theme, and James Bond, he would be drinking, obviously he drinks vodka, but if he was drinking whiskey, his whiskey of choice is the Macallan. But sadly, I drank that some time ago.
Okay. Well, take it away, Dan, with the Bond theme. Dan, thank you so much, Dan. We'll see you again in a bit. Thank you, Dan. We want to go. Can we go to Piano Man Dan quickly? Actually, let's have another little bit from Piano Man Dan. His sound. Hello.
Yep.
Your sound has gone a little bit.
Yeah, it has. That's the problem. But I do, of course, have my avocado. I do have course, have my whiskey and I have some Pink Floyd.
Just go to Piano Man Dan finally before I because hello Piano Man Dan.
Hello, Tim.
Hello. You, I think, are because it's Beethoven's 250th.
It is Beethoven's, but we'd have to move Kit the cat. Kit, look, you're famous. Everyone loves you.
So yes, Dan, thank you for introducing us all to Kit the cat. But could you play, Dan?
Yes.
Could you play for us?
Let's try a little bit of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, the third movement. Let's see how that goes.
Dan's avocado problem. Actually, I'm going to go to Piano Man Dan next. I'll see you in a minute, Liliana, but he may have another problem for us, of course, this week. Can we go to Piano Man Dan? Where's Piano Man Dan?
Hi there. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, and an avocado is never far from my being. I have an avocado, and we can talk about that later with Professor Frook.
Right, good. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Dan. And what have you got for us this
well,
week?
I've noticed that a lot of people are broadcasting from their homes, and they've lined their room out with a lot of books to make them appear sophisticated and intelligent. And a lot of people have been debating whether or not people actually, have read the books on their bookshelf. Now, I do have a bookshelf in the room next door. It's IKEA, and I put it together. And I'm going to show you some of the books in my bookshelf that I do actually read. Now, Tim, you would not be interested in this book because this is a book about art and culture and the meaning of art and culture. And you, out of your own mouth, you said that you're not a cultured man and you're not that bothered about culture. Now, we had a woman at the Bavard give a talk on this artist. You might be familiar with their work. And if you look here, you can see a picture of a woman and her breasts, you don't look too closely, her breasts are exposed. And here, there's a picture of a man and he is wearing no clothes.
Right.
And you can see his genitalia there.
Okay, Dan.
Now, you would be led to think that this would be the work of a foreign artist. But in fact, Aubrey Beardsley was English. But he spent a lot of time in France where he was no doubt corrupted by their, continental aesthetic ideas. And instead of drawing or painting a nice, countryside or, seascape like, say, Constable or Turner, he instead drew pictures of people with their naughty bits out.
Okay,
this sort of salacious artistry of his became very popular, especially in the 1960s. And the Beatles, in fact, put Aubrey on the front cover of their album, the Sgt. Pepper's.
Dan, although I just want to clarify the fact. No, okay, we'll leave my non-culture out of it. Dan,
you don't know about culture matters. Yeah. What, Tim?
We need to find now.
No, I'm going to tell you about Alex Higgins. Now, Alex Higgins, these are the two books that I've read the most, right? And Alex Higgins, a drink was never far from his hands.
Okay.
And as you can see in this picture here he is playing snooker and drinking.
Okay.
In fact, intoxicating liquor was as ubiquitous to Alex Higgins as his snooker cue. Now, Alex Higgins always denied that he had a drinking problem. Always denied it. He always said he was hyperactive, and that was why. But his drinking partner was Oliver Reed. That was his drinking partner.
Yeah.
And an entire chapter in his book is dedicated to stories of hijinks that he got up to with Oliver Reed.
Dan,
So he's possibly
great.
Yeah.
Dan, I need a song from you because
I have actually read those books.
Good.
I read them over and over. They're
Dan.
fascinating.
Dan,
He is a maverick.
Dan, what song are you going to do for us first? What
Okay, right. Do we need education? Yes. Do we need it provided by state schools? Probably not. We've got the interwebs these days. So I'm going to do a bit of Pink Floyd.
As I said, we are running a little bit short of time. I'm hesitating to go to Piano Man Dan because obviously he does talk. But let's go to Piano Man Dan. Let's do it. Piano Man Dan. Right.
Now, Tim, last week we talked about the avocado that I was mistakenly sold as ripe and ready and was no such thing. It was, in fact, only ripe and ready a full week after its best before end date. I have since purchased this crab paste. Now, I was labouring under the illusion that the majority ingredient in crab paste would be crab, but it is not. The majority ingredient in this is haddock at 35%, and then crab at 20%, and then at 15%, it's a fish called sprat, which means it's 50% not crab and only 20% crab.
There you go.
Now, it's illegal, man. Is there something I can do about that in the trade's description?
Sensational breaking news. You hear everything first.
The comment section have suffered this sort of thing where you buy one thing and it turns out to be something totally different.
It's remote. We're living in strange times, Dan. I mean, I think these are things that we're going to have to get used to. Dan, do you have a song for us?
Yeah, okay. I'm an 80s boy and a 90s teenager. I'm going to do some Pet Shop Boys.
Okay. With Pet Shop Boys, thank you very much, Dan. With some trepidation, let's go to Piano Man Dan and see what he's got in store for us tonight. What song? Hello, Dan. What are you going to play for us now?
During lockdown, I've taken the time to arrange Bohemian Rhapsody, and I hope to play a little bit of that. But
right.
It's a iconic song, and there's been a lot of talk about what the song actually means, and the lyrics, are a bit odd. For instance, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo, Magnifico. Bismillah, will not let you go. What does any of that mean?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, Dan.
Well, yeah, I know. People have speculated. Whereas on the B-side, Roger Taylor, the drummer, has written a song, and that is much more easy to decipher. The song is called "I'm in Love with My Car," and I'm going to give you a little bit of the lyrics. These aren't confusing. They're not riddles. You can work out what this song is for yourself. Okay. The machine of a dream, such a clean machine with the pistons a pumping and the hubcaps all gleam. With my hand on your grease gun, it's like a disease, son. I'm in love with my car.
got a feel for my automobile. I'll just give you a little bit of another verse. Okay. I told my girl I'll have to forget her. I'd rather buy me a new carburettor. Cars don't talk back. They're just four-wheel friends now. When I'm cruising in overdrive, don't have to listen to no run-of-the-mill talk jive. I'm in love with my car. Got a feel for my automobile. Now, this is called mechaphilia. And this brings me on to Edward Smith, a man who has had sex with 700 cars. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of him.
Right. Dan, yes.
Here he is. He's had sex with over 700 cars.
Right.
He is sexually attracted to machines as well as having sex with cars. He also had a relationship with a helicopter and planes, claiming they are all better than women. The love of his life is this Beetle here called Vanilla. Obviously, the Beetles were designed by Hitler. But despite having a simultaneous relationship with a Ford Ranger called Ginger, which is here, Edward said there was no resentment on Vanilla's part. She's very forgiving, he said, before stressing that he is aware that cars are inanimate vehicles rather than sentient beings.
There we are, Dan. Okay, well, that's fascinating, and thank you for sharing that with us. But Dan, could you perhaps play us a song? Can you play some vocals?
I'll try and play a bit of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Thank you, Dan. Take it away. Some music, please, please. Here we go. Piano Man Dan with hopefully. With Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, and some interesting anecdotes for us all to ponder. So there we go. And yes, Neil Del Strother's comment there to think I've only had it away with a couple of Renaults and a Royce Minor. So thank you, Neil. And Dan. Right, can we, now we're just running a little bit behind, so can we go to Ted the Drum? Let's go back to Ted the Drum, because I want to bring in tonight's first Bavarders. Hello, Ted. Good. Did you enjoy that little segment there with Piano Man Dan?
I very much did. I always enjoyed the Piano Man Dan segments.
Yes, they are a thing. So, Ted, could you give us a drum roll to our first three Bavarders of the night, to Clive, Steph, and Ray? Take it away, Ted the Drum. Then quickly, finally go to Piano Man Dan. And see what Piano Man Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hi, Tim. Just briefly, now that Ted the Drum has made himself a dictator, I think he needs a proper dictator name. Now, Idi Amin gave himself this title. His full self-bestowed title ultimately became His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Hajj Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO, MC, CBE, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa and in general, and in Uganda in particular. I think Ted should at least be Lord of all the beasts in his back garden.
We'll suggest it to him, but as you can see, Dan, can you play us just a couple of lines to take us to the end of the show before? Next